What's good, everybody? It's your boy Big Nate. Welcome to Big Nate's Book Reviews, home of the best book reviews. And today we have another book haul. So I know I'm kind of slacking on the book reviews. Hold up, before I even get going, what am I doing? I'm getting way ahead of myself. Doobie right here, ready to be sparked. Today we smoking this one for Wayne Gretzky. I don't even know who Wayne Gretzky is. That's just the name that came to my head. Baseball player, basketball player. Actually, isn't he a hockey player? Anyway, first things first, we got Franz Kafka, The Complete Stories, which, by the way, is not actually The Complete Stories, because I was driving back from Seattle with a very good friend of mine, and we listened to like this podcast where basically they read like 3 newly discovered Kafka stories, and they were, or 4 actually, and they were fire. Like, actually, some of the best Kafka I've read, I feel like. And they're not in the complete story, so it's not complete, is it? They gotta re-abridge that, or I don't know. But yeah, this is a very good book. I've been going through this pretty. I've been going hard on Kafka lately, like every day. Yeah, bro is crazy. I've read the trial. I haven't smoked in mid either, so you know how that goes. I read the trial a while ago, and the trial was amazing. And it's like, the crazy part about him is this, half of this shit wasn't even finished, and it's already low-key so good. And it's very surreal, very uncanny, very weird, heebie-jeebies. Not even heebie-jeebies, just very strange. And he's got this. So in the podcast we listened to, Camus described Kafka, like The Secret of Kafka, being something like he compels you to reread him. And if that's not the truth, I don't know what is, because even before I heard that, like, I'd been rereading his stories, and I don't normally do that, but it's some where it's just like you finish it and it's like it like resounds. Honestly, the full effect of the story doesn't even come in till like you need to like process it. Anyway, Kafka's dope. Shout out Kafka. Some personal favorites so far are The Penal Colony. That shit was wild. Yeah. Anyway, okay, real quick announcement. I got a podcast. I got a podcast. Yes, I know. Everybody has a podcast. Yes, I'm making one too. This one, the difference is mine's gonna be lit. And anyway, in The Penal Colony, that's for sure gonna be a story we're gonna do. But also A Country Doctor, that one was crazy. A Hunger Artist, that one was like, yeah. Anyway, okay, I'll move on. But Kafka's got some fucking bangers. Kafka's got some bangers. Let me know your favorite Kafka story in the comments, because I know you got one. Next, what we talk about when we talk about love, thin little thing, Raymond Carver, which I got put on, you get into early, I'm going to do an official like announcement thing, but to those watching, to the real ones, podcast coming. And I came upon Raymond Carver from the podcast. It's like a short story pod. Just stay tuned. But anyway, Raymond Carver, I read A Small Good Thing, and then the one we discussed on the podcast was Cathedral, and both of those were like really good. Carver is like, he's definitely more like classic literary. He's not like dark, surreal, weird, or anything, like Kafka. It's just like general classic literary fiction. But he's really good. He's very like he's described as like blue collar, like everyday people type of thing, like workers, and if that kind of makes sense. Just it's like the common man. It's the common person. So. Okay, going back to surreal, I guess, is the Complete Stories of Leonora Carrington. And this one has been a real... Talk about surreal. And the thing is, she's like a painter. So first things first. I got this on a recommendation from a friend. Shout out Mo, if you're watching this. But yeah, she recommended it, and Leonora Carrington, and she like paints too. I went down a whole rabbit hole where I looked at her art, and her art is like super surreal. And if you just if you want to know what this book is like, look up Leonora Carrington paintings. And that actually is going to tell you, whatever you feel there is going to be what you feel during this book. I'm like kind of like halfway through it. All these I've like kind of been reading. This is a gradual accumulation of books that I have gradually accumulated. And we're calling it a book haul. But no, I bought a lot recently, like just in traveling and stuff. I went to Seattle, if you're wondering. It was beautiful. The food was amazing. Actually, it was a little cold and everything. But that's low-key. Look, let me put you on game. The time to go to a vacation is low-key when it's cold. Because no one's there. It's a trade-off. The way I think about it, it's like with camping. Good weather equals bugs. cold weather equals no bugs. You just got to take your pick or find some equilibrium in the middle. But anyway, so that's like, because we went to the Seattle Art Museum, which is normally packed. The lady even said the last 2 weekends has been packed, but it was like dead. Not dead, but low-key dead. Yeah, and it's because it was like a few days before Thanksgiving. So look, think about that shit. In Seattle, I bought the Storyteller Essays by Walter Benjamin. Walter Benjamin, I feel like he's known for his literary criticism and his essays. And these are some of his essays. And so I'd read a couple before unpacking my library, and like it's like, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's like basically how like the printing press changed art, something like that, some shit. You know what I mean? Where it's like before you had to go and visit an art piece specifically, but now you, anyway, that's Walter Benjamin, and I saw this, and it's NYRB, which like, I don't know, NYRB kind of just like makes good books, you know what I'm saying? So, and like, I like Walter Benjamin. I sure I would just like Walter Benjamin. So, you know, why would I not get this? Make that make sense? It's shit was kind of expensive, so I brought that shit brand new. Ooh, don't know. I'm like halfway through, something like that, and it's good. I'm on his big one now. It's like the Storyteller Essays. It's a bunch of like shorter essays, like couple pages, few pages each, and then it's like a good bulk of this book is the Storyteller Essay, which is really good so far. I got like halfway through. And it's like the condensation of everything. It's like, it's funny, you can kind of see him figuring out what he's trying to say and then say it in the Storyteller Essay. And there's like a lot of good stuff in between. Yeah, shout out Walter Benjamin. Dude, this is how literary criticism needs to be written. Up next, the man himself, bro, Jorge Luis Borges. Borges is crazy. He's got to be one of my favorite short story writers, if not one of my favorite writers, period. Because he's just, you know, he's got big words. It's like dictionary status, but like he has just such a way with storytelling, and it's very philosophical. It's very like, I feel like when I say postmodern, I don't know what I'm actually saying, but it's things where it's like, you know, he has like little footnotes. Oh, this is my hot take. House of Leaves by Daniel Lewinsky. You know how it's like there's all these footnotes and it's got like real sources and fake sources? Borges did it first. I guarantee you he was reading Borges, because he has like that kind of stuff where he references like real and or like fictional historians and like the footnotes, and he'll go off on the footnotes, and it's like part of the story. And sometimes the story itself is like told as like a biography, like, or as like an essay, almost like a literary criticism essay. But every one of those stories is funky weird. I said funky weird, by the way, not fucking weird, like funky. Cause yeah, I said in my Goodreads review, you would know if you follow, cause I read Ficciones. That's why I got this, cause I was like 3/4 of the way through. I'm like, I can't have one moment without Borges. But I said in my review, he's one of the most original writers I've ever read, and ain't that the truth? Him and Kafka make a very interesting reading experience pairing, and I'm super for it. Oh, and speaking of devil, actually not really the devil, but this is like a third. It's actually weirdly like the blend between Borges and Kafka, and actually Leonora Carrington, because what we have is Bestiary. So I've only got a couple in here, but by Julio Cortázar, right? Yeah, Julio Cortázar, right? Why? What the, bro? How do they not have the fucking author? It says Vintage Cortázar, but what? You're tripping. Anyway, I read the first couple stories. It's already like, what the hell? Bro, the thing with surrealism, actually, that's probably what the whole definition, I actually couldn't tell you what surrealism means, but I bet it has something to do with what I'm about to say, which is that it gets its weirdness from the fact that it's like kind of normal. It has like some pretense of being normal. It's like a normal person talking very nonchalantly and ordinarily about like some weird shit. Also, hold up, hey, chill, bro. I'm doing a video out here. So yeah, I haven't really got that far into it, but I know he cites Borges as an influence, and I believe Borges cites him as an influence. So that's what I call a win-win situation. So up next, you can tell I'm doing short stories. That podcast dropping. Hit that notification bell, bro. Hit that notification bell. You are not gonna want to miss it. I swear to fucking God. Welcome to the Monkey House by Kurt Vonnegut. Cause, you know, just shout out Vonnegut. And I've never read his short stories before, so I'm kind of interested what those are like. But it's like Bluebeard, Slaughterhouse-Five, Sirens of Titan, Timequake. What else? I feel like there's another. Anyway, Kurt Vonnegut is dope. So, like, you know, let's see what's good with the short stories. It's really quite simple as that. The man that needs no introduction. So this one I saw, which also speaks to the fact of organization of bookstores, because it's like there was a whole section for books that I never would have thought, including the Walter Benjamin essays. Like I wouldn't have found that, but it was like a whole section. I forget, it might have just been like criticism, literary criticism, or essays, some shit like that. But this was like around there. It might have done with rhetoric. Anyway, point is, the Penguin Book of Modern Speeches, because speeches are really kind of like essays when you think about it, told in the oral tradition. And the whole thing Walter Benjamin's on actually is like, we're losing in our society story being something that's like transmitted orally and in a community, right? A novel you just read, it's like you in the novel alone. By definition, no one can be up in your space really, whereas a story, he says, is like, has to be told. It's like what common people do, you know what I mean? Just like normal, like you tell stories to somebody, there's almost like an audience, you're catering it to them, which is completely different. Anyway, point being, speeches are kind of like that. They're like oral essays. Point is, wow, I kind of went way too on over that right now. Shout out Teddy Roosevelt, that's the point. But nah, there's a lot of good stuff. I'm only like 30 pages in. I've read a few, no, actually several, because that's what's nice about this book, is that they're only like a couple pages, so it's like 3 pages. So I probably read like 10 speeches. And shout out Teddy Roosevelt and a couple others that I've just been going stupid, bro. Speeches are hard, like hard as in like this goes hard, not difficult. They're actually very like very digestible. That's why, and it's like a couple pages, like I said. So, and there's another book they got. Hold up, let me spark this doobie. Hold up. Nice try. Nice, you're funny, bro. There's another one that's like historic speeches, and it's like that's the one I would even more so prefer. But this will be good too. I'll work my way up. Okay, we got a few more. Genius by Harold Bloom. Low key, I just got it because it's Harold Bloom, who is the guy based off of the Netanyahu's is based off of, famous literary critic. I even knew George Bloom. Like, writers talk about George Bloom, you know what I'm saying? And Genius, a mosaic of 100 exemplary creative minds. And you know, I've always kind of just been interested in that stuff, like what are the people who are like big artists, like Genius? What are people who are geniuses? What do they do? You know what I'm saying? That maybe you could even emulate that, like learn from it rather. In fact, I just got a book. See, I've been going a little. I'm not even talking about my fucking like self-help creativity books, because that's just, you know, that's not the place. But there's like one about something like how to live like Da Vinci, and it has like 7 principles. And I was like looking a little bit. One of them is like curious, like be insatiably curious. Oh, hot, my bad. Damn. And be insatiably curious about everything. The interconnectedness of things. So I wonder if he means like, because he was like, you know, writer, or actually I think that's one thing he didn't really do. Maybe he did, but scientist, painter, inventor, artist, musician, like, and so I'm wondering if he means like, can you learn across, you know, does learning about art tell you something about science, and vice versa? Okay, up next, the Britannica Kids Encyclopedia. This was an Amazon purchase, bro. The only thing I'll say is for ages 8 to 108. And I'm closer to 28 than I am to 100. So 100. So, and it's like, it's like, look, you know, it's going to be written well. Like, I'll be able to read that if I might read that after this doobie, you know, like read about the universe and like fossils and shit. And it's genuinely informative. That's what an encyclopedia, you know, like some basic world shit. Maybe for the people on this channel, you know, I got bad geography, so maybe this might help with that. So, all right, last but not least, that's dying, bro. Last but not least, Bartlett's Familiar Quotations. So this is big, by the way, and heavy. This was also, I ended up not getting it there, but this was also in that same bookstore I was just talking about. I found like this quotation book, the speeches, and Walter Benjamin essays. And I like Susan Sontag on interpretation was there. And it's like, this is, I never even thought to like look for these. But so the architecture of the bookstore determines the shopping experience. But Barlett's familiar quotations, like, I don't really know. I was just thinking it's going to be dope quotes. I'm just going to read the first thing I see. Good evening, Mr. and Miss America and all the ships at sea. This is Walter Winchell in New York. Let's go to press. Okay, that was kind of lame. God damn it. Let's see. My boyhood saw Greek islands floating over Harvard Square. Was that a good quote? I can't tell. Let me try that one, bro. Fyodor, I should be quoting these people. Fyodor Titchev, a thought once uttered is a lie. A thought once uttered is a lie. What's that mean? Like, it can never quite perfectly capture what you want it to. Like, there's, you know what I mean? Like when you're trying to describe something. Or I'm just, Benjamin Disraeli, I hate definitions. That's actually pretty funny, huh? I hate definitions. Ain't that the truth, bro? Variety is the mother of enjoyment. Yeah, why not? Novelty, we like novel things. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Why would I not get this? And I think for the most part, it's pretty, I'm just gonna like work my way through it. I'm a little bit in. One thing is, it's like, it's quoting a lot of the Bible. Like, it almost feels like I'm kind of just reading the Bible, which is cool. The Bible, I'm trying to read that shit anyway, but, sometimes it's a little heavy. It's like, all right, bro, Cain and Abel, and then the God said it was good and everything. Actually, the very beginning of Genesis is pretty digestible. That shit's pretty crazy, but all right. That's the end of the book haul. So yeah, stay tuned for a special announcement. Extra reason you're gonna want to follow me on Instagram at Big Nate's Book Reviews. Smash that fucking like. And with that, thank you for watching Big Nate's Book Reviews, home of the best book reviews.